Turf today. Get up and brush off the dew on that. Turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Cut it and roll that dew on that. Turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Set up, they about to come through on that. Turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Get up. Turf today. Get up. Turf today. Let's get out the way. Here comes first play. Let's maintain that turf today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What up? Welcome back to Turf Today. My name is Adam Kershane, joined by my co-host Brian Laurent, and this week we are heading out to Fort Collins, Colorado to talk with Tyler Miget, the equipment manager at Harmony Club. Tyler gives an electric interview, full of laughs, stories, and perspective from a position we don't always get to hear from. He's a husband, a father, and a huge part of the team and culture at Harmony. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be behind the scenes in the shop or what makes a great equipment manager tick, this is an episode you're going to love. Let's put the microphones in the vise and get into this one. As you guys know, Turf Today is recorded on the Superintendent Network and is brought to you by Toro. When it comes to innovation in turf care, no one does it quite like Toro. From precision mowers to advanced irrigation systems, Toro's equipment is built to perform day after day, season after season. Whether you're maintaining a championship golf course or a local muni, Toro delivers the reliability and results you can count on. Trusted by turf professionals around the world, Toro continues to push the industry forward because great conditions start with great equipment. Toro. Always solving. Always evolving.
Got home late last night from Dallas, working through some videos, proposals, all the fun stuff, prepping for 2026. Already have my full year plan calendar kind of already set up, and it's already giving me a little anxiety.
Yeah, seeing how busy it is.
Yeah, dude, just looking at I put my kids' activities on there. We've got spring lacrosse schedule already updated. And so I've got that up there. I've got their likely tournaments that they're going to be playing in this summer for club lacrosse. I've got my kids' hockey schedule up there. It's just like
you guys are busy.
It looks like a bag of Skittles blew up on my calendar right now.
Oh man,
yeah, all color coded. Got all the big events next year kind of penciled in there. Things that I might be attending, and yeah, so yeah, it's all good. Were you out at the course this morning?
We've had some really long frost delays the last couple of days, so I've gone out and helped a few times, but today I stayed home, get ready for the show, trying to get my wife's car in the garage, trying to get that all cleared out so we can get her car in the garage because that's a big one for winter. Makes her life a lot easier in the mornings, getting the kids out of the house.
I'm getting ready to clear out the garage so I can put the hitting net in there.
Nice.
Yeah. Got to start working on the game.
They're making it a lot easier for people to have simulators at home.
There's a bunch of different simulators that are out there. Yeah.
Those little devices, right? They're pretty cheap these days. You can get really nice ones that are $7,000, but there's decent ones you can get. Just get a little net, get a screen going, and have some fun.
Yeah, I don't have room for full swings in my garage. I need to redo my garage door, so it's mounted on the walls, so I can take full swings in there. That kind of gets in the way. It's either that or just build one of those simulator sheds that are all the rage right now.
Oh, if you have room for that, yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think the wife will. I think she wants to get the kitchen done before that, so we'll see.
Kitchen before simulator
probably would get shot. I don't know. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
means you're
or
spending more time out there and out of her kitchen, though. So I guess if you get
that's
it,
100%.
that's
She
part of the
doesn't care to
argument.
see me. It's fine. Yeah, I think it's a great investment.
Put a little bar out there, TV. You're all
Absolutely. I
set.
mean, might as well just expand and just build a new wing to the house and have my office in there, have the golf simulator by my office. Like, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, you are working from home, so you got to have
Yeah,
some sort of space, you know?
I know. I know. I don't know. I just get a little paranoid. Like with those golf sheds, like I just get paranoid that it's an easy target for someone to break into and steal a lot of stuff. So,
Yeah. All
having
your
it
clubs in
attached to
there
the
and stuff.
house.
Be
Yeah,
bad.
exactly. Exactly. So having it attached to the house would make a lot more sense from a security standpoint, I would think.
I love seeing the videos online of guys that dig out their basement. They'll dig out the floor, make it a
Oh
lot
yeah.
deeper so you can go down and kind of get in there and have room to swing and build a whole setup. And that way it's like
Yeah.
right in your house too. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I don't know too many podcasters that have that kind of budget though.
No, that's next level. That's like, hey, we got a bunch of money. We need a simulator. Let's just blow up the floor in the basement. And like
Yeah.
just getting all that material out of your house too. Like
Oh,
that's a job.
dude, my attorney, that's exactly what he did. He dug out his basement. He was telling me they were breaking up the floor and carrying out the concrete in 5-gallon buckets
Just
one
in
at a time.
buckets. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, how long did that take?
Yeah, well, for golf though, if you want it that badly and you just keep thinking,
Yeah.
"Hey, every bucket, I'm getting closer to a
Yeah.
sim."
Yep. Yep.
There he is.
Greetings, laddies! Top
Hey,
of the morning to you from the northern part of Colorado.
there's a fiery way to enter this. I love
What's
it,
going
man.
on, brother?
Hey, man.
How you doing, Tyler?
If I was any better, I'd be twins, man.
Oh
Nice.
man, I love it. All right, what's the story with the cap there?
You just got to bring the energy. One of our core philosophies with the fish philosophy is you gotta play, you gotta make it fun. So just find the way for the fun. I'll take it off. And be a little-
No. You're
No,
you're
no,
you're
yeah, that's
good. You're
good.
good.
I
I was
mean-
just curious. I was wondering. I mean, do you have the kilt going with it too?
Dude, wouldn't you like to know? Fine, teasing.
What a way to start.
I'm here in my boxers,
No.
so it's
Yeah.
fine.
That's hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, I no, unfortunately, OSHA would probably disapprove of me wearing a kilt in the shop,
Gotcha.
sparks
Gotcha.
and stooping. Also, HR would probably have a problem with it if we're being honest.
There's a chance. There's a chance. So coming to us live from the mechanics bay right now, looks like right in the back of the shop.
Yeah, office, tool room, chief hangout spot.
That's the
Not
spot.
the chief, but
Yeah.
top 5. Yeah.
Primary hangout spot. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff back there, Tyler.
No doubt. Yeah, this is all my parts organization, and then just a couple fun little things like a sun, earth, moon Lego Technic thing that I made with my son. Pretty
Cool.
bitchin'.
You gotta have some family stuff at the course or some little gadgets and gizmos, you know?
Yeah, remind you of your why.
I love
Absolutely.
it. I love it. So, Tyler, we always like to open things up by giving our guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. So, the floor is yours, my friend.
Hey, I'm Tyler. Do you need more? No, I'm teasing.
I love it.
What an idiot.
Straight to
I'm
the
sorry.
point. You know me well.
Yeah, I'm Tyler Miget. I am a native Fort Collinsian, or a Fortian, a Fortian. Doesn't matter. I'm from Fort Collins, home of the CSU Rams. Give them hell, go Rams. Yeah, man. I'm a husband of one. I'm a father of 2, and I'm sure that they're both mine because they're feral and obnoxious, and I love them. I've got 2 little boys who are 2 and 5. They're like raccoons with law degrees, which is really fun. I was.
God, this is going to be a great episode. I can tell already.
I hope it'd be awesome.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, I was an ASE certified mechanic for a little while, and then I left that to go run a nonprofit that worked with all different kinds of students in Northern Colorado, and then I hung that up. During that time, I got to coach football, wrestling, and track and field at the middle school level, which was the best.
Nice.
Yeah, and then after that, after the nonprofit stuff, yeah, I went off and I ran my own business for a little while. My wife and I, we try to get away every year for like a goals and values weekend where we can kind of help center ourselves and our marriage. And on that one year, we decided that it was time to make some change professionally for me for just some different, just some different reasons. And so then I decided I would go look for some W-2 jobs. And I had just recently picked up golf. I only picked up golf maybe like 5 years ago, right after our first son was born. And my mom had worked for the local county government for a long time. So I was looking for government jobs around where I was and found a golf mechanic position at a municipal course in Loveland. And I was like, you know, I had a golden ticket, So I interviewed there. I had no like golf course experience at all, other than being a hack and drinking a lot of beer. And I'm still a hack and drink a lot of beer, but I also have golf course experience now.
That's the best part of golf, though. Let's be honest.
Top five, yeah. My former boss there, he took a chance on me and was so wonderful. I love working with that team, and yeah, they gave me all the tools I needed to succeed and kind of the open door. And the guy that I was coming in to replace had been at that course for 43 years, almost 43. He would correct me when I say 43, but yeah, because it wasn't quite precise enough. Yeah, I had all the tools to succeed and all of the support around me, and yeah, couldn't be more grateful. And then yeah, I talked with my boss and just was looking for a platform, the best platform for me to do my best work. And I just didn't think that it was going to be at those courses. So applied to a few other places around Northern Colorado, and evidently where us equipment managers are a rare breed. So interviewed a few places that had openings that were local and found my home here at Harmony Club in Timnath. So just across the highway from us in Fort Collins. And I love it. Yeah, it's awesome. We've got a great team. We'll probably get into it, but I can't speak highly enough of anybody here. So yeah, so that's me. Anything I can get my hands on and learn something new, I'm all about. Anything I can get better at, I'm all about that too. So there's a big
more
nutshell
than just
to fit me,
Tyler.
but-
Yeah. What a road, brother.
Yeah.
Got a lot going on. It's cool to hear that you do a lot with your family too, because that's so important. Before we get into this stuff, talk to us a little bit about your family and kind of that work-life balance, some of the stuff you like to do with your kids.
Oh gosh. But basically anything creative. My 5-year-old is super into kind of like rockets and stuff. So there's this guy, Chris Ferry. He wrote this like series of books called Science for Babies. And True, my older son, his favorite one of those is Rocket Science for Babies. Like when he was 3, he could tell you like the forces that act on like rocket ships and stuff. Like he could tell you like, the forward force is thrust, the upward force is lift, like all this different stuff. So he's super into it. So any sort of like rocket thing that we can rig up, like PVC pipe in a 2-liter bottle filled with water and hook the air compressor up to it out in the backyard and launch them off. And that's a summertime fave because they get wet and crazy and wild. Yeah, Otto, our 2-year-old, he's a brute. So anything physically violent, he's super into.
That's usually how it goes with the second.
Oh man, he is wild. Like True will just like beat on him and like throw like balls and stuff like at his face or whatever. And Otto's just there laughing. And so he's starting to get his words and he'll just go again. Just like,
I picture Billy Madison in the batting cage just sitting there like,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
exactly that.
Gotta get
yeah.
him in hockey or in football or something where he can hit guys.
All right, that one hurt a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, hockey. Oh gosh, I'm into it. It's expensive. I'm gonna need some sponsors
Good point.
or something.
Yeah, no, it is.
But gosh, yeah. And man, I had a friend when I was a mechanic at a just like automotive shop. He carried his hockey bag around in his truck all the time, which I don't think there could be a worse call that you can make for your vehicle.
Oh, just the
so
smell.
bad.
Yeah.
Dude, it was the worst. Is that what all of Canada smells like?
It's usually our garages or basements, but yeah, the trunks also can be one. The thing about doing it in the winter though is that it stays frozen, right? So it doesn't smell that bad. Everything's just frozen, then you thaw it out the next game. But yeah, doing that in the summer, not a good idea. You got to keep it in the garage.
Yeah, that's 100% what my car
That's
smells like.
disgusting.
It's lacrosse gear is just as bad, man. It's so bad.
Turf Today is brought to you by Standard Golf, the folks who keep raising the bar on course tools and accessories. If you haven't tried their Hammer Strike hole cutter yet, you're missing out. Clean cuts, smooth edges, and built tough enough to handle whatever your green throws at it. And what about those laser cut custom metal tee markers? Whew! They're sharp, durable, and completely customizable to match your course branding. Finally, something that we can all get. From tools to finishing touches, Standard Golf's got you covered.
So Tyler,
Oh, you guys
I'm
are
really
gnarly.
big on, I when I look back at my own career, I look at all the steps that led me to where I got and how, what kind of role each individual stop along the way has helped me where I am. You've obviously got a very diverse background. Obviously the mechanic side of things is very helpful, but how are the other components of your career journey? How do they all play into what you're doing now from, helping students, coaching, all those things? How does that help you where you are currently?
It's pretty varied for sure. I'm just trying to think for a second so I could give you a real answer instead of just jumping into it. I'll go two ways with it. I think just by necessity in the nonprofit world, I had to learn how to and get proficient at creating good teams, good cultures on teams, because I had like the only, I hate to use this word, but the only leverage that I had over them was some like, like, hey, you said you would do this. You're a volunteer. Like I didn't have a paycheck. I didn't have anything. So the only real staying thing was the value of like the relationships and that relational equity within our teams. So yeah, I think figuring out how to create belonging and then mattering, and then the performance is kind of the fruit that comes after that. If you tend, the first two, you think about it like belonging is like a root system to it, like a fruiting tree or something. If belonging is the root system, then I would say mattering is the trunk. And then if you're tending to those two things, then the growth, the performance, the outcomes are going to happen. So I had to kind of figure that out before I had that kind of a language for it. So figuring out how to implement that became not second nature. I still have to think about it, but it feels comfortable to me. So I think that helped out a ton. The other way I think is I coached a lot of kids, at a point where you're teaching the fundamentals over and over. I know all coaches are doing that, like John Wooden would spend hours teaching his guys to put on their socks, like over and over. All right, take off your socks. All right, let's put them on again. But it's about doing the little things, right? So I think helping a young developing athlete, a student athlete, to understand the why and the what and grasp those little things. In football, how do you get in a stance that's going to make you able to move beyond that? Being able to break pretty complex ideas, like an 18 read option, out of this formation or whatever, being able to break that down to a 12-year-old and go like, here's what you do. You set your feet first, always set your feet, so on and so forth. I think that has helped me kind of be able to train our operators and the people who are running our equipment at our shop, and be able to help them understand, well, here is why we're running, our Toro 3360 Triflex on the greens with the brushes, but we're not running the brushes all the time, and we're not running the brushes down all the time. And, getting to have guys in the shop and go, well, what's that big green thing in the back there? Well, that's a reel grinder, and here's why, and here's how, and here's what I'm doing. And just trying to make the complex accessible. Because I feel like I know for me, when I can understand something, it makes the way I engage with it totally different. So if our guys know, why they're doing what they're doing, then it helps what they're doing and how they're doing it.
Very
So
insightful and articulate.
Yeah.
Beautiful answer.
Very well put. And so I would love to know, with all of this that you had going on, all the different experience, what ultimately brought you to the golf course and, made you kind of fall in love with the sort of career and job you have now?
Uh, Great question. What brought me to the golf course was my wife was
Free
having a
golf.
book club. Yeah, yeah, that was a benefit. But no, my wife was having a book club, and I went and picked up a set of rental clubs because some of the husbands were going golfing at our, one of the local communities in our town, City Park 9. Shout out, love those guys. And it was like I would say probably most people's first experience with golf. You hit one or two great shots, and you're hooked, right? So I just got that kind of like dopamine thing. I locked in. So starting to play golf got me there. So once I left the nonprofit work, I took like a 3 month sabbatical and played literally every day. Like I would get there before the maintenance crew, I'd play in front of them, and then I would go back into the pro shop and pay afterwards. So I was just hooked, and I was trying to play golf in all the places I could at all the, with all the different kind of people I could. And just had a blast. And then I've always had this kind of like mechanical inclination and background. So I think it was just serendipitous that I wound up in a golf mechanic position with the city of Loveland, just because it was timing, and it was it was a government job with good benefits and decent pay that I could just land in there and find myself in a place where I could do what I do, which is try and learn and try and get better.
Was that a role that you knew existed on a golf course?
No way. Are you kidding me? Does anybody? I don't,
It's part of the problem.
dude,
Yeah.
no doubt. Yeah. Like so I went to an automotive tech program in high school that was like in partnership with our local community college in Fort Collins. And dude, if somebody had walked in and said, "Hey, you can make really good money, you can do a lot of precision stuff, you can fix stuff and be like an integral part of a team," I would have freaking eaten it up at that point in my life. It'd have been awesome, but I had no idea. So I'm hoping to go be that guy who's going to talk to the tech rooms in the high schools and then that program in that Front Range. Cause like, dude, it's working in this way is so awesome. And the skill set, if it tickles your brain in the right way, it's so fun. It's so fun. It's not for everybody. I get that. But yeah, I think there are a lot of kids out there who, if they knew about it, they would be all over it.
So how do you think we can do that? How do you think we can promote this profession? And are you personally going out, obviously with your education background or background dealing with young students? Are you doing something? Are you going to those tech classes and trying to recruit kids?
Not yet.
All right.
No,
I like
that is
I like the yet.
yeah, with all the stuff that I've had going on this year, and I haven't had time for it, and it's still a priority, but it's still, it's like a listed priority. It's not just something I'm thinking about. It's like it's in a document. It is a goal. It is a thing that's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
That's awesome. That's exactly what we need. People to start getting in the schools, teach people about this. We can show what it's like online and different videos and things through social media, but actually having somebody in there with experience to tell them about, all the ups and downs and how great it can be is something that's
Yeah.
very important. And maybe it can lead to more people just like you around the country, around the world, continuing this on. So you got to start small. You got to start somewhere, whether it's one school or one summer camp or whatever the case may be, you just start it when you can. And I'm sure with the kind of person you are, you'll get some traction and maybe some people that can help.
It'd be awesome. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I think our industry, especially like the GCSAA is doing a really good job with the First Green program to be able to get kids in the know. Knowledge is power,
Absolutely.
right? So yeah, getting kids in the know and stuff is important. I love it.
Talk a little bit about your daily routine out there, Tyler. What's a typical day look like for you, if there is such a thing?
All right, so there I am, about 3:45 in the morning. I wake up, roll out of bed, crack the back. No, I'm teasing. You don't want to hear about you don't want to hear about those parts of my day. Yeah. So what I'll do, I've got my own adjusting schedule and stuff that I'll go through weekly. But so the mornings is really just making sure that if I've got an email or something come in, I'll do a little computer work before everybody gets here. I try to be here about 30 minutes before our crew gets here. And then I'll be present for the morning meeting most mornings when I can. And then, I know who's going out on what piece of machinery. And then, some days I'll go around and drive out, or some days I'll have stuff to work on in here. I don't really have like a set schedule, but this is kind of the overview. I make sure that I am super available first thing in the morning, because I feel like that, the machines have to crack their back too, like they're sometimes they gotta wiggle it out. So yeah, just making sure that I'm available for our guys, and if anybody has questions or whatever, I'm making sure I'm available to them. And then throughout the day, again, just kind of preserving that availability and knowing that it's not a matter of if I will get interrupted, it's a matter of when. And yeah, trying to be like the best kind of IT department ever. You know what I'm saying?
So you're taking your morning bathroom break. Will you answer the phone call? Will you answer the radio?
Yeah, are we going there? Are we doing it?
We're doing it.
Oh man. All right. Yes. So when I was working at the old course, we were like a 2 facility thing. So we had the 18-hole championship course called the old course at Loveland. Right across the street, we had a par three course, which was like a real par three course. We had these old Jacobson Green Kings 4+s that we mowed greens with a lot of the time. There's a pond right next to the practice green at that course, and there's a slope. Like we were training people, and there we have our mow directions rotating daily. We would always say, regardless of the mow direction, only mow this like this way, like one way. We'll verticut it, we'll groom it, we'll figure it out, but only mow it this one way. And inevitably, the young operators, or maybe they're not thinking, or whatever, but they would all, somebody would get going the wrong way, and there was a slope leading to the pond, and towards where you start your pass, it's not too bad, but as you're moving through the green, it's like dangerously steep. One morning at the shop in Loveland, I was enjoying the beautiful effects of black coffee, and and my phone rings, and so I tell my people my policy is if you call me once and I don't answer, that's fine, but if I get a double call, I'm always answering. I answered, and one of our operators was like, "Hey man, I started in the wrong direction. I'm about to go in." Well, it turns out he had just called me and had been basically sitting there on the slope doing a burnout to avoid going in the pond.
Just
On that
holding the
green
mower.
just holding in forward as fast as he
Trying to
could.
dig it in.
Oh boy.
Exactly. I'm like, all right, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna drop every reel out of mow. You're gonna drop the reels. You're gonna shut the engine off. And if you you do not ride it in, get off in the safest way you can. And I'll be there right away. So I finished up my business, and yeah, I got there right away, and it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too deep. We got the tow straps and the tractor, and we got him out. I got to go through the machine and got him on our spare. But yeah, that's what we call radical availability, fellas.
It's a good
Great
rule.
term.
If you call twice, gotta answer.
I love it. I love it. What's the wildest thing you've seen out there?
So at the old course, we had this basically all the supervisors would work one weekend a month. So on my weekend, we went out, did all of our stuff, mowed greens, raked bunkers, did all the things that were necessary for the day. And as I'm pulling out, the assistant pro in the golf shop calls me and goes, "Miget, we've got a problem. There's cows on 7." And I was like, "Oh, no, what?" So I drive back to the shop, get on the cart, our assistant superintendent's cart, and I drive out, and sure as shit, there's like a full-grown black Angus cow and a juvenile red Angus cow just on 7, just hanging out. And a lot of people would panic at that point. I am a lot of people. I did panic. I was like, what the hell do I do? But silver lining, guys, I forget who sings it, but it's like, I should have been a cowboy. I got to be that on a carryall for like 4 hours. I was like driving around herding these cows into the native going, yeah, 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 yeah. like heading them off. Exactly. Here's the kicker. All while trying to not disrupt play because we had a PGA Junior event at the course that day.
Oops.
We got a ton of parents walking around, like not the crowds, but like a ton of people there. And I'm just going, yeah, you know, it's like, so I called our superintendent and I was like, man, I know we just fertilized our native and stuff. If they're eating it, is that going to hurt them? He goes, no. So then I was like, okay, well, at least they're safe here. So the brand inspector for Larimer County, where we live, was somewhere in Wyoming at the time, couldn't make it back, was doing other work. So I basically had to herd them, like I said, for 4 hours until our county's sheriff's posse showed up on horseback with cattle trailers and cattle panels. And we
Ready.
walked them back like, and it was hilarious. Like they were so awesome. They did so great. And they also coached me up on like, hey, you know, the cows aren't probably going to need the, it just, you just
By the way,
need
those
a
guys are
bucket of
laughing
corn.
at you.
A bucket of corn?
Yeah. A bucket of corn. He's like, the one guy's like, I never seen a cow shake his head at a bucket of corn. Yeah, dude. So we're just like leading them on. We get them in the trailer. It was hilarious, man.
It's much cooler to ride around yelling, you know, yeah. That's much more fun.
Oh, definitely. You got to play the part, you know?
Yeah.
Did you have a hat for that
1,000,000%.
day too?
That opportunity doesn't come up very
Dude.
often.
Talk about a missed opportunity. Yeah, I should. I don't even have one here. What if? Well, yeah. It's so funny. Well, I should plan for it more. You know, like if you're praying for rain, bring an umbrella. If you want to have, you know, if you should have been a cowboy, maybe buy a hat.
100%.
Next time they show up to the course, you're out there in full chaps, spurs. No. I got this.
Don't worry, guys. I'm an expert. I don't think you are, Tyler. Yeah, but I did say at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
I was gonna say, did you put cowboy on your resume now? Have you added a new description there?
I should.
Yeah,
I totally should.
that's a beaut.
Just so I could tell the story.
That's a beaut.
Tyler, I would just wanted to ask you, you know, a couple serious talks on this podcast. I wanted to ask you just about the stigma of being an equipment manager. You know, there's a lot of turnover, a lot of older men and women kind of moving on from the industry, a lot of technology coming into the industry. Just talk about kind of changing the stigma of, you know, being an equipment manager.
I think we've all had that experience with the grumpy old mechanic guy. When I was turning wrenches in an automotive shop, I literally worked with a guy that we called Grumpy Gary. And no, genuinely, like that was his, like, those were his preferred pronouns, was Grumpy
Wow.
and Gary.
That's how he signed the birthday card.
Yeah, he was just like a mean, salty old guy. And I think we've all had that experience that just with like that grumpy old guy. You know, I've never had a grumpy old lady working on any of my stuff. So, but they are also included if they exist. You know, you can be grumpy and old and a lady. I don't know if it's like a personal goal of mine to reshape like the stigma or the anything, because I think it's a stigma because it's real. I think it's a stigma because there are people who dedicate a lot of time, effort, and resources to taking care of things. And then when people don't take care of them, it's really frustrating. And it's really hard to, in the midst of that frustration, help a person understand why maybe something that they're doing or something that they've done doesn't help care for that thing. You know, whether it be $110,000 rough mower or, you know, that broom that you just got and now somebody's like sweeping up oil with the new broom and you're like, bro, come on. So I think it's totally understandable that a lot of mechanics would feel that way, because there's a lot of different butts that go in the seats of the things that we're taking care of and finding pride in. I think my hope is to give equipment managers tools to be able to have some perspective, to be able to coach people up, and even before that, to be able to train people up well. And even before that, to be able to belong within your team. You know, like I think A lot of equipment managers are the scary guys who never come out uh, of their shops, except to pee or poop, to make a potty. Have you guys noticed that? You're a grown man, but you're like, all right, I got to go potty.
Yeah.
Um, Hashtag dad life. But
Yep.
I think a lot of those guys, kind of live in the caves because it's a unique position on the golf course. Not There's nobody doing what you're doing, so it's isolating in that way. And I think it's really easy to feel like you don't belong and to not work towards cultivating that belonging within your team. And I want to give equipment managers tools to belong, and tools to matter, and tools to impact their culture. And it starts with the kind of the main relationships at like within our organization. It would be myself with our assistant superintendents and our superintendent, just having a sense of rapport. I know what they like. I know about their lives outside of the course. I know how they operate within the course. I think that that is my hope, and that's so I've started to develop this kind of framework that I'll actually get to present at CTS this year in Orlando, in a power hour called Culture Keepers. Equipment managers helping to build high trust, high performance teams. Um, I think oftentimes the superintendent is out on the course and pretty unavailable to kind of the crew guys or gals. I think equipment managers are more often than not in the shop. And basically, if you keep your culture at your house, then your culture kind of goes out from there, right? Like this is the gathering space, the meeting space, um, the room where all of that happens, and then everybody disperses and then comes back. So I think for us, if we can cultivate that belonging at the physical space of the shop, I think we're winning. I think you can coach people and correct people way better because you have rapport. I think you can be on the same page and understand the why of like all the different cultural practices that superintendents are doing. If you have some rapport and you have some, like I said, relational equity with them to just to understand why they're doing it. And if it's for like the benefit of the course, like my boss still apologizes to me every time he puts sand out. He's like, I'm sorry, we got a top dress, like blah, blah. I'm like, dude, stop. Like, I've got so much respect and love for our superintendent. He's like a really good guy, and he's worked in places where putting sand out wasn't understood, so it was bitched about. And like, oh, I got to grind again. I got to, so he's apologizing to me. I'm like, dude, the product that we've put out in the last year, and this isn't us saying it, but like people who have been here since the beginning, is the best that this course has ever looked. Like the product that we're putting out is the best it's ever been, and it's because we're doing stuff the best we've ever done it, in my opinion. Um, yeah, so I want to give people tools to be able to kind of have those relationships in their own ways, like how they're going to have them, but having discourse and dignity, in those relationships, I think is massive.
There's so much there I want to follow up on. So
Oh
I'll
my
start
gosh,
with,
yeah. What an unbelievable perspective.
yeah, that, not to kind of give away your whole presentation for Orlando, but what do you think is the most critical piece in cultivating that relationship with your superintendents and assistants?
This might be like a cheesy buzzword, but I think it's the vulnerability and curiosity, to say, I don't understand. Will you help me understand? I think I think once that is shown, and I think us as men, we kind of have that like predisposition to want to present like we've got it all figured out. I know that's true in my life, and it's something that I come up against all the time. I have to kind of let the ego take a hit and go, I don't understand this. Will you help me understand this? Even if it's something that like totally enrages me. I think that is the biggest thing that an equipment manager can do with the superintendent that they're partnered with, is say, can you help me understand? Can you give me the why? And that is a vulnerable act. I think it's really vulnerable. But I think what we find, and this is backed up by a lot of neuroscience, is that when we're vulnerable and when we're open to a conversation like that, there are these things called mirror neurons. So if you and I, like if you guys and I go out for a beer and I'm sitting there and I'm kind of grumpy and my arms are crossed, what's going to happen in you guys, regardless of like your rapport with one another or our rapport together, like in Orlando, if I'm pissed and cross my arms and I'm grumpy, the exact same thing is going to happen. You guys are going to get a little disgruntled. You're going to cross your arms. You're going to be physically and emotionally closed off from me. So I think the act of being vulnerable in the first place only leads to kind of that further edification of a vulnerable culture saying, can you help me understand why we have to top dress so often? Can you help me understand why we're pulling cores instead of just punching holes? Can you help me understand, like, whatever it is? Having that curiosity, I think, especially for people like me who are, kind of have that mechanical inclination, is so beneficial.
All right, guys, Adam here. Before we go any further, we got to talk to you about our sponsor, the Andersons, and their all new SR 2000 Pro rotary spreader. If you know, you know, this thing is built like a tank. Stainless frame, smooth tires, and that signature Anderson spread pattern that's dialed in every time. Quick setup, no nonsense, and ready for whatever your course throws at it. Check out the SR 2000 Pro from the Andersons, engineered for pros who don't mess around. We are back with another Ask the Agronomist segment featuring PhD agronomist Tony Goldsby from the Andersons. Our question today comes in from Jay Sheridan. What are some quick, cost-effective initiatives we could put in place at our golf course when it comes to the turf side?
Well, thanks again, Adam. It's great to be on the show again this week. And thanks again for another great end user submission. And obviously, turf sustainability initiatives are always something that should be top of your mind. And I think a lot of folks, think that requires maybe some amount of big investment into your budget. And, there are a lot of small, consistent actions that you can take that can have a real impact on your core sustainability. So, first one, obviously being an agronomist and really working for a fertility company, always using that soil test, as kind of the guide on where you need to make amendments and, add back applications. And then really trying to, just approach it from a spoon feeding effect, right? And only giving the plant what it needs and when it needs it. And ideally trying to keep it, right there at that plant level to reduce waste wherever possible. We had a question a couple weeks ago. I know we talked about irrigation audits just briefly a few weeks ago, and I think that's another really cheap and easy way. Obviously, water, is not getting any cheaper. It's not getting any more available. So making sure that your head spacing, your coverage, all those things that go into an irrigation audit can really save you a lot of time and improvement on your water application overall in your system. And then, if you are doing that, you got those boxes checked. Obviously, wetting agents and however you can kind of, rotate those into your program just to ensure that you're getting that uniform watering. And that also, helps reduce your hand watering that you have to do, which is obviously another, really labor intensive practice. Clipping management's also another thing. It's, somewhat tough to return those in a lot of different cases, especially with playability being a factor, but wherever it's feasible, right? That's, free nitrogen that you can put back into the system. So certainly something, if it's an area that, you can do it, would highly recommend it. And then kind of the same thing around mowing height. Obviously, if it's a, rough area or area where mowing height is able to be raised a little bit higher, you can really help that plant canopy help itself, create more food with its solar panels. I recognize, as you get into the fairways and the greens and the ultra low mowing heights, we need to, keep the ball roll true and the way we want it. Can be a little bit of a challenge to get that up there. But again, wherever you can incorporate just small little factors like that into your program, it doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but can have a big impact on your course's sustainability factor for sure.
Cool, Tony. I thought that was a really good question, so I was looking forward to your answer there. So this wraps up another Ask the Agronomist segment featuring Dr. Tony Goldsby from the Andersons.
Coming in, not understanding the agronomic side of golf course maintenance, what was that learning process like for you to understand why they're doing some of the things that they're doing and how it impacts your role at the golf course?
Yeah, that's a great question. That process for me was, I don't know if you've heard of like the Dunning-Kruger effect, but it's essentially you don't know what you don't know. And if you know a little and you feel like an expert, you're probably really wrong. Um,
Oh man, that's never
so
happened before.
yeah, right. Don't worry, I got it. Hey, darling, I need some help.
Yeah.
Let me
But
YouTube
I
this.
think I benefited in several ways. I think the education content that GCSAA has put out for equipment managers to understand like the basic agronomy stuff, like the EMCP level 1 stuff, is so helpful. Toro has got the aftercut evaluation, appearance evaluation stuff that is so beneficial, or was so beneficial to me to kind of understand. Okay, this is what we're looking for. This is our shared language. This is how I can understand. And the other way I feel like I benefited so well was I had a superintendent who was willing to take the time and explain it to me when I first started.
Nice.
Dennis over at the old course at in the superintendent Charlie were just so willing to spend the time with me to help me understand why and what and how we're doing the stuff. Because right, I didn't know POA from bent, or rye from blue. I was like, oh, that's a different green. Maybe, I don't know. But like I being able to learn about like stolons and rhizomes and all that stuff from the GCSA stuff, and then have boss who would come out and just take me out on the cart and go, this is why we're top dressing. We're trying to move, sand through the profile for like the health of the plants that we're growing. Dude, it was amazing. And Dennis had been growing grass in northern Colorado, gosh, since like the 80s, like the mid 80s. So a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience, and he was willing to take the time and explain it to me. So I think I kind of got it from both ends. Like I got like an academic perspective from the GCSAA and Toro, and then I got almost like an apprenticeship perspective from a boss who just cared.
That's awesome. So, could you give us a little bit of advice for leaders to talk to their equipment managers to kind of build that relationship and to kind of have a little bit more of an open floor at the shop?
I think the coolest thing that you can do is leave your space and go into their space and be helpful or useful. I think if you go in guns ablazing, and it'll be a process, but I think if you go in, if a superintendent would go in guns ablazing, asking a bunch of questions, trying to build rapport fast, 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 I think you're just going to put more strain on the relationship, get more frustrated, and your frustration will impact the frustration of the whole setting. I think slowly and with intention. Are you guys familiar with the fish philosophy? With that book?
I don't know if you've listened to
Uh,
this podcast or not, but we don't really get that deep in that stuff.
okay, all right. I've listened to a
I
few.
went to a state school, Tyler. I am, yeah,
But teach us
So,
though.
And,
Tell us about it.
yeah.
all right, so the fish philosophy, it's kind of a cheesy book. I was turned on to it by John McLaughlin, who's the course manager at Wallacey, home of the Stableford, home of Frank Stableford. I think they're right outside Liverpool. But we got to go there with the Bernhard Academy, Links to Success, big delegation UK. I don't know what it's called, but I was a part of it. It was pretty
Just
nice.
dropping. Yeah. Name dropping.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Sorry, but I'm a big credit giver because I thrive on recognition, not because that's not what I'm working for, but it's significant drops in my cup if somebody can be like, man, thank you, great job.
That's the love language with the wife. She's figured that out.
She's working on it.
Sorry. Didn't mean to take you off topic there.
No, yeah, no. Yeah, my wife's a legend. But sorry, anyways, I was on the fish philosophy. So John was talking to us about this book, and it's kind of a cheesy book, but it's about the Seattle fish market, or the public market in Seattle, that fish market where they're tossing fish. And basically there are four core tenets to it. One is be there, just show up, just be there for people when they need you, how they need you. Number two is choose your attitude. So if you're coming to work grumpy or pissed or whatever, you don't have to be. You can kind of choose it. And if you have to fake it, that's all right. And if you can be honest about where you're at, that's even better. And then 3 and 4 are kind of my favorite, but you have to have the first two on purpose. 3 is make their day. if you can look for somebody and find out how to make their day, you are what you celebrate. So if you are looking for a way to make a crew member's day or your boss's day or whatever, like look for it, find it, do it. Don't wait around for it. And if it takes you a little time, effort, money, it's worth it. Consider an investment. And then last is play. We are always looking for ways on our team to play, because if you're going to get the work done, like if it's all work and no purpose or no play, it's you might as well be breaking rocks. And if it's all play, it's a carnival, and you don't get anything done. But if you can kind of find that middle area, it's the best. Work, like the feeling you get when coming into work is a good feeling. It makes choosing an attitude way easier. So we're always trying to find ways to play. So I think for a superintendent or a director of agronomy or anybody on a team, I would say read the book. It'll take you 2 hours. You'll realize that it is cheesy, but it is quite impactful. And if you can figure out a way to make your equipment manager's day, like an offering of, can I bring you a breakfast burrito? What's your favorite? Do you guys have burritos in Canada?
We do. Yeah.
That's a stupid question. I was joking.
We have a lot more shawarmas than burritos, but yes.
Oh, yeah, dude. Do you have brekkie shawarmies?
Definitely. Oh yeah. Or shawarma
real?
poutines.
Shut up.
Oh yeah. We got it
Oh,
all up
man.
here.
All right.
But they're big on Tim Hortons up there. That's it's not burritos. It's you bring your EM some good old Timmy, some Timbits and some Tim Hortons.
That's right.
Straight into the heart.
Oh, I'm learning so much right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think for somebody who's struggling to build a rapport, like a genuine offering of how can I make your day, will go a long way. And if you're just honest and you go, hey, I want this to work out, if you can let your pride and ego take a hit and explain kind of where you're coming from in a way that isn't like, get on board, it's my way or the highway, this is why we're doing it, but that you actually want to have like a beneficial collaborative relationship that is going to produce the best culture, the most belonging, the best meaning, and eventually the best product. Dude, why not?
I'm glad you just said the word collaborative, because it's a great lead into what I wanted to ask you. Talk about the collaboration between your superintendent and maybe the more you started to understand the why of what they did, are you kind of at a point to where you're confident enough to let your voice be heard on making suggestions for, how your piece of the puzzle can improve what they're trying to do on the golf course? If that question makes sense to you there, Tyler.
Yeah. I think the confidence, I think the ability to trust my own perspective and experience and education is coming on kind of the agronomic side. I think the thing that I'm focusing on is I don't have to be an expert on the turf stuff, but if I am aware and informed on the turf stuff, it makes everybody's life better. Similarly, for my supervisors, especially my superintendent Chris and our assistants Griffith Collin, if I can help them understand about the machinery and kind of like the cutting units and the impacts of, if you're mowing a range tee all the time with the same reels, we're going to go off cut like all the time. So explaining to them like kind of downtime and uptime rhythms, I think that's so much more beneficial than kind of getting angry. So I think I guess to answer your question, I'm starting to trust my voice and the agronomic stuff, but I am really trying to develop an expertise and a culture of understanding around the stuff that I'm really good at. I'm trying to play to my strengths, So yeah, I don't know. Does that answer your question? Where
it does, and I'm not sitting here insinuating like you're going to go to them and say, you shouldn't spray XYZ or top dress or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Not along those lines. I'm just, have you gotten to the point to where there's that collaborative process where you can make suggestions, again, kind of based on like you said, your expertise, and say, hey, I think, we can adjust this cutting unit. It's going to help, better performance in this area, is kind of I guess where I was going with that question.
Yeah, I think it's a yes and. I think I can recommend stuff and have ideas, and I think we've cultivated a setting where we can have a conversation about it, and my input is considered. And I think there's also this reality of like I know who's cutting my checks, and
Absolutely.
I think we're a really good team, and the buck has to stop somewhere. So yeah, I do think like I'm trying to think of an example because I do think I am there. Like we've had some really great conversations about our aeration schedule and process and how to kind of optimize those processes. So me kind of understanding what it's taking from their end and what kind of like especially our greens, like what our greens need, what they're going to take, and then being able to recommend like basically like time size and process and who's going where and kind of the organizational like dance of who's doing what where when. Yeah, I do think yeah my boss is trusting me, and yeah I think we're collaborative there for sure. There we go.
Fired
So
up.
there goes our flash of lightning. We'll do our lightning round here, presented by Flash Weather AI. Your heads up before the skies light up. Tyler, quick answers. You can expand on anything you want here. I think I have 4 or 5 things written down for you. Ready to go?
Yes sir.
Okay. So first one, how many Toro part numbers would you know by heart?
Oh god, zero.
Why they
Yeah.
make books and
Oh yeah.
That-
Hey,
the
yeah
internet.
that's I gotta optimize the storage space, brother.
fair enough.
I-
Yeah, you don't need those. You
I-
don't need those numbers.
And especially when you get more than like 3 digits with the dashes and the double dashes, those will get you, man.
Those will get you. Okay. Hey, fair enough. I wouldn't be able to memorize a single one either. So we're on the same page there. Let's move to the shop floor. What's your favorite tool in the shop to use?
Trent Manning asked me this question, and I stand by my answer. It's the Milwaukee anything. Literally anything that they make is my freaking favorite. I drank the Kool-Aid. I am all red. That is my biggest desire in life. In all seriousness, no, I think that Milwaukee and like Toro are they're just dumping so many resources to R&D and solving problems creatively, mobily. Like we've got like M12 and M18 stuff. I had that with with my like home remodel repair business. We were all red, and yeah, Milwaukee anything. I got these the knee pads for the ground. It's just like a gardening rectangle of foam. Man, I don't have a table lift, so I'm on the ground a lot, and those things are lifesavers.
Yeah, that's huge. You need a good
Big
pair of
fan.
those. Next one here. I've been interested. I love asking mechanics this question. This just comes from me working in the auto industry a little bit like you. What do you think about electric cars?
They're rad, dude. They're so rad. I mean, I struggle with this because I could go completely reductionist and go like, they're bad. They're bad for the planet. They're bad for the people who are mining the materials. They do it's like, if you go down the rabbit hole with anything far enough, everything's dog shit. Um,
Of course.
and dude, are you kidding me? Like 0 to 60 in 1.8 seconds. I think like anything, as the technology evolves, they're only going to get better and more awesome. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but when Edwin Budding invented the reel mower for the carpets and stuff, the blades weren't helical. Like they didn't go around like around in a spiral around the central shaft. They were just straight. But then the helix blades like revolutionized it. You add more blades, you add more clips per inch, all that stuff. Everything improves. I think with electric cars, charging is going to improve. It's going to be more awesome. I'm a big fan. And uh, there's nothing that's ever going to beat the sound and feel of a naturally aspirated V8 engine. Ever.
Tough to recreate.
Ever. Dude.
I can see some of those electric cars like getting a synthetic sound on them. They'll.
And
I totally see
vibrate and all
Tesla's
that.
Tesla doing that. Yeah, it'll just
yeah.
they'll have speakers on the
Yeah.
outside
Smoke
that
blowing out the back.
give it that same. Yeah, exactly. It's coming.
You roll
An
coal, but it's
electric
just
car
colored
with
water vapor.
Yeah.
the electric car with the muscle car feel and sound.
Yeah, you get
It,
a point there. They might get there.
I would contest that it's hard to feel an electric car, even with big speakers. It's hard to feel the rumble in your tank, which is where all, like
Can't replicate
that's a
that.
hill I'll die on, brother. No, I'm
That's
sorry.
fair.
No,
That's
I can't
fair.
replicate that. I hear you.
Okay, this one I've been waiting to ask all day. Me and Brian are huge South Park fans. Is there any connection being from Fort Collins to South Park?
Yeah. Yeah. We're in several episodes. Freaking love, dude, love South Park. So you guys probably know that they bought Casa Bonita.
Right.
They sent out a bunch of stuff to like local people. I am a part of the founders club of Casa Bonita. I've got a card and a member number. I mean, it's yeah. I went to school for one semester in Gunnison, Colorado. So from Fort Collins, I had to drive through South Park, um, which is even more hilarious than the show because of how it looks.
I didn't think it was a
Yeah,
real town.
Yeah, I
It's a
didn't either.
real
it's for
town?
real.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like Quahog, Rhode Island's not a real place in Family Guy, you know? So I always thought South Park was just made up. Fort Collins is
it's
the
all
next
real,
town
dude.
over, but it's a real place. Wow, Randy Marsh, a
Yeah,
real guy.
could be. Could I did? Oh, dude, I just got so many flashback visuals. I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't bring it up. It's so good.
That's awesome. Okay, last one for you. You talked about coaching sports. If you could go back and coach another sport again, maybe one day for your kids, which sport would it be?
The little bit you put on at the end there makes it a challenging question. Coaching my own kids. I don't know if I will coach my own kids. I'm not. The jury's out. I'm just not sure if that would be the best thing for them or me. And I think it could muddy the. Well, I just think it could muddy the like the father son relationship, and that's something that I will preserve. You know, as much as I can for as long as I can. My dad passed away about 5 years ago, and yeah, it's just given me a perspective on how I walk through my life as a husband, as a father, as a you know whatever I do as the who I am. It's given me a lot of that perspective. So I don't know. I don't know if coaching them in a sport would be kind of the best possible option. With that being said, football or folk style wrestling, uh, dude, does it get better? I don't know. It might. It depends on your perspective, but dude, if I could go back and coach football right now and it wouldn't be a hindrance to my family, I would do it 100%. If I could coach wrestling, I would do it 100%.
Shifting gears again, I mean, we've talked a little bit about technology and the way this industry is changing. From your perspective, how is your role changing with the evolution of technology that courses are using?
I feel like that is a great question for somebody much smarter than me. Um,
You're up there, Tyler.
Yeah, man.
You may
Definitely.
not have all the experience as others, but dude, it didn't take me long to figure out how insightful and knowledgeable you are. So, but anyways, continue.
I feel honored by that comment. Thank you. I think it's going to be a long time until a robot can smell a hydraulic leak. I am so excited to see where the technology goes. I think, everybody kind of struggles with people resources. I think innovation for innovation's sake is silly, but I think the innovation to see what's possible is so rad. Like getting to see like the autonomous mowers, like from like the Crest or the Husqvarnas to like the Firefly mowers at CTS last year. It was amazing. I hung out with the guy who is like the Toro robotics lead for like an hour and a half, and he was just willing to chat me up. And I think it's like the electric cars. It's only going to get smarter. It's only going to get better. There is a need for it, and it is such like a useful tool for people like us to allocate the people resources um, in wiser, um, better ways that are just like going to increase our stewardship of like all the stuff that we're taking care of.
Love it.
Beautiful.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Well, this has been a great hour, Tyler. We really can't thank you enough for coming on here. There's probably more that we could get into today, but we'll let you get back to work. We like to leave the floor open to our guests at the end if there's anything you want to plug, anything you want to talk about. I know you have a little bit of your own brand going right now too, so floor is yours.
Thanks, dude. This if I'm never like a self promoter, and I don't ever want to be. However, we are. Yeah, my wife and I started kind of a community brand organization movement thing in Fort Collins, where we're called Rock Coast Golf Co. I've got a hat. Send me an address. I'll send you guys some hats. You just tell me the
Nice.
color. But yeah, so our tagline is real fun golf. We're real people having fun, maybe playing golf. Our mission statement is we exist to create fun excuses to be together because in doing so, we realize we belong to one another. So what we're doing is golf is just in the name and the tagline, but we want to be, yeah, just kind of a beacon for belonging, a love letter from Northern Colorado to the rest of the, you know, world that we can influence to, yeah, create belonging wherever we can, whether it's through corporate events or, you know, fun little Sunday range hangs and, you know, bring your kids, they'll get their faces painted. You can whack a couple balls. Um, yeah, man, we want to create and encourage belonging in the spheres that we can influence, and we're doing that. We just had this tournament called the Ace Chase, and if anybody wants the details on it, I'm happy to share everything that we have and did. We took over City Park 9 in Fort Collins for a morning, and ran a tournament. And we took every hole we turned into a par three, and every hole had insurance on it. Our grand prize was $100,000,
Wow.
sponsored by my friends at Big Fish Energy. And you know, we had trips to Bandon, a full bag fitting at TPI, like we had all this stuff. And then we had an after party at an indoor range place called South Broadway Country Club. And you know, we had probably 125 people at the tournament, and then maybe 100 people at the after party. And you know, it wasn't like a scramble. What was somebody was asking what the actual format was. I think it's called aggregate stroke. I told people I was like friends let friends five putt. I wanted to see everybody's like okayest golf, and then and I wanted to discourage like all that silly like scramble stuff where you're trying to cheat and you're going, maybe we could shave a stroke here or there, you know, like so we gave out awards for the okayest golfer. So the person who was closest to the median score, they got a Scotty Cameron putter.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, but there were six dudes who had the same score, and it was 37 on a par three nine hole. Um, so they had to rock paper scissors for the Scotty at the after party.
Wow.
We had like the okayest team score, the team that was closest to the median. Some of our friends here at Harmony Club, they hooked it up with some golf lessons for next year's most improved golfer. Yeah, we
That's
had
awesome.
businesses doing good, and yeah, and kind of the whole thing of it was is being a beacon for belonging. My I might cry during this, guys. High school athletic trainer is one of the best human beings on the face of the planet. I asked uh, her and her husband, who was a groomsman in our wedding, if they could be a beneficiary of one of the holes. If somebody got a hole in one, she's got breast cancer, and has been in remission, and it's back its third time. And so if somebody had gotten a hole in one, they were going to get half of that grand prize, or of that $20,000 prize hole. And we were able to raise some money through them during the day, but it really is because like through the time that she spent with me and caring for me, like when I was a dumbass high schooler, I belonged to her. I belonged to their family. Like our kids are friends, and yeah, we were able to raise some money for them to help out with that fight against cancer. And um, yeah, she's a wonderful human being, and now she runs an organization, or an ARMA organization, that takes care of teen moms that are still in high school in Fort Collins in Northern
Wow.
Colorado. So like the best kind of person, let alone like the best person. So yeah, she's a stud. Their families are studs, and that was kind of the thing I was proudest of during the whole thing. So that was the Ace Chase by Rock Coast Golf Co. Um, yeah, man, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I'm excited about it, and hopefully the sky's the limit for positive stuff like that.
Absolutely, Brand. I think that's something that can only get better. And if you're driving the bus, I'm sure it'll go in the right direction. So thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great. Appreciate you being flexible too, because we almost did this episode 3 or 4 different times. So really, really appreciate you
Yeah,
sitting
man.
down. And once we get all three of us get on the screen here and make it happen.
Yeah, man. No, it's all good. Thank you guys so much. I love what you're doing. I love the stories that you're sharing. I think it's awesome, and I think it's only gonna make it more bitching throughout the years.
This is awesome. This was great to meet you here, Tyler. Appreciate, like Adam said, appreciate your time and willingness to come on.
Absolutely.
Good
All right,
stuff.
let's drink beers in Orlando too.
Oh, we're not very good at that though. You have to show us how. I'm
Dude,
just kidding.
I'll be like you're a lad into drinking beers.
Oh
I can
yeah.
show you the world.
A whole
Oh,
new
maybe
world,
I
huh?
should. I've had a few people ask if I can bring some Canadian beer down, so I might have to bring a few cases down because
Oh
everybody
boy.
wants some.
One of our sponsors for the Ace Chase is a place that I love just in general and would plug them regardless. It's a Fort Collins institution. They're called Music City Hot Chicken. So it's just like, Nashville hot chicken. They've got a bunch of different spice levels, everything. But they have Labatt's.
No
Labatt.
way, Labatt
They
Blue.
have Labatt. And dude, during any Colorado sporting event at Music City North, which is right by my house, which is dangerous, they have $1.50 Labatt's.
Ooh.
Oh, baby.
Danger.
Watch out.
Danger.
I tell you, anytime the Broncos, Avs, Rockies, Nuggets, anytime anybody's playing, it's a bad day to be a Labatt.
That is fantastic, brother. Love it.
Oh, this is great, Tyler.
And dude, the
Absolutely.
hat's been so good. I've chuckled a few times while you've been talking because you have the headphones on. So like it looks like a Scottish hat, but it also looks like a sumo wrestler's hair. Oh my gosh. So funny.
Yeah.
Next time we see you,
Oh,
you're gonna have
man.
a cowboy hat on, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah. I
Assless
love
chaps at the conference.
it. Yeah. Oh God.
I thought about making that joke, but I didn't know it. You guys are legends. Thanks for the opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for helping me talk about all the things I'm passionate about.
Now you got a great story, man. It was our pleasure.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Keep those real sharp, brother. Have a good one.
All right. Later, man.
All right, man. See you, Tyler.
Bye, Brian.
What a beauty.
Yeah, a lot of energy. That was awesome.
That was outstanding. Insightful, very thoughtful in all of his responses. That was outstanding.
Yeah, and very charismatic and
Yeah.
original, doesn't mind throwing an accent and a funny hat on and just being
Beautiful.
himself. Like I love guys like that. That's the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Authenticity is what it's all about. I love
Mhm.
it.
No, and he said so many great things too. Like he hit me so hard. I asked him the stigma question, and he's like, "Well, it's real, like it's almost justified why the mechanics act the way they act. Like they have a lot of people that don't take care of things, especially if they get taught or, asked many
Yeah.
times. Things are never done the right way, and so there's a reason for it, and it's all of us. Like, hey, how do you fix something like that? Well, it's the whole team. It's not just their attitude, or it's not just the superintendent yelling at the team. Like, it's everybody. You have to recognize that those are hardworking human beings, and they're a part of the team, an integral part of the team. And
Yeah.
the easier you can make their lives, the more fun you can have with them, and the more you can pay attention to what you're doing out on the golf course. It's only going to make everything better for your whole team.
Yeah. No, I think every superintendent would admit, what a critical role that EM position plays out on the golf course, right? I mean, if that equipment's not operating, doesn't matter how good your agronomic plans are, you've got to have the tools to be able to implement that plan. So yeah, I mean, he hit the nail on the head as far as, the culture keeper stuff and relationship building. It's just so incredibly important. So incredibly important.
There's a time during the day too when the superintendents aren't around. So you're going back to the shop and the mechanic is the person you're going to see, right? Either you need
Yeah.
help with something, you got to find something, whatever it is, and you need that person to be, there for you. So it's a two-way street. The more respectful you can be with them and help them with things, they're going to be right there to turn around and help you. And these people need our help just as much as we need their help. And to make their lives easier sometimes when they're the only ones in charge or the only ones there to help, is something that's very important for everybody. So I thought he had a lot of great advice for stuff like that. And superintendents listening to
Absolutely.
this, Hopefully we have more people like Tyler coming up in the industry that are able to help and kind of drive culture at their golf courses.
Yeah, it was funny. He mentioned at one point the isolation. Sometimes it can be, feel like you're out there on an island all by yourself, in the shop waiting for something to come in or whatever it may be. But I think the more that superintendent's assistants, whoever it is, bring them into the overall team, the better functioning team they're going to be, right? I mean, again, go back to what they do makes a tremendous impact on the overall output and performance of the golf course. So bring them in, getting their opinions, bouncing ideas off of one another. I mean, it's just so critical to an overall high performing maintenance team.
All right, everybody, that is going to do it for us for this week. We got another great one coming to you next week, and we are also going to break down the shot, the Toro Jones Turf Today golf bag shot. It was wild, it was cold, it was quick, but it happened. 3 people are taking that bag home. So this episode drops Tuesday morning. If you're listening to it right now, Tuesday morning, you're going to find out later today who won those bags. We'll talk about it next week. All right, keep those reels sharp. Have a great one, everybody.